listening to or watching me from. Welcome to another episode of the recap favorite show on radio. Now, this is that program where we discuss and analyze the issues that made the major headlines during the week. Of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I do have my analyst right here. His name is Mr. Peter Anosike, and we'll be discussing the issues that made the major headlines during the week. We'll be discussing this together, and we have quite a lot to look at today, quite a number of topics to look at today, and I'm sure you will find this enlightening and educational as always. Before we begin, I'd like to give you a rundown of the issues which we'll be discussing today. First up, we'll be looking at the World Bank expressing concern about Nigeria's malnourished children and urging the federal government to act. We'll also be looking at the SDP's candidate in the SDP's presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, the SDP Social Democratic Party, and the name of the candidate was Adewale Adebayo. He's accused President Bola Tinubu's led government of doing business instead of running the country. He's saying they're just doing business instead of running the country. And of course, we have deregulation. Be ready to pay market price for petrol, oil marketers tell Nigerians. All right, we'll also be looking at, I will continue to problem to Ojukwu and Peter Obi and PDP governors. This is according to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Wow. And then finally, we're looking at former Nigerian President Chief Olusegun Aremu Obasanjo saying punishing the Igbos for the January 1990 coup and the Biafra secession effort is unfair. All this and more we'll be discussing right here on the recap. Do stay with me. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Recap has just begun. It promises to be an enlightening episode as usual. So the next voice you will hear very soon will be that of the analyst. But before we do that, I'll give a birthday shout out to everyone celebrating today. Woo! My belly's so far away from me, I would have rung it. Starting with our very own Jude Ikami Jude. Many of you know him, and of course most of you love him. Happy birthday, Ikami Jude. This year of your life will be the best year ever, and that in this year you will experience peace, you will experience growth, and you will experience favor like never before. Guess what? It's also my sister's birthday today, and her name is Ruby. Happy birthday, Ruby. It's been a pleasure growing up alongside you, and of course I need to say a very, very, very happy birthday to our very own in the church, Mrs. Paulina John. A happy birthday to you, ma'am. May the favor of God continue to locate you, and of course happy belated birthday to me. Yes, I celebrated mine yesterday, and we're kind of still in celebratory mood because I'm tired, but of course to be here to make sure that we discuss major issues that trended during the week. I mean, if I know they here, who can't do it, but it's okay. We are right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM on the program that you love to watch and listen to. This is the recap where we discuss and analyze the issues that made the major headlines during the week. I've given you a rundown of the topics which we'll be discussing today. And the next voice you hear will be that of Mr. Peter Anosike. He is a retired journalist, a government executive, and he's also a political, social, and national affairs analyst. So good evening, Mr. Peter Anosike. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. And for those celebrating, I say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to us. Yes, we're still in the spirit of celebration. Thank you so much. But let's move on from celebrating and talk about Nigeria for a moment. The World Bank is saying it is concerned about Nigeria's malnourished children, and it's urged the federal government to act. It's saying the federal government should increase its investment in nutrition programs, highlighting the potential for substantial economic returns. Now, according to the World Bank, every dollar spent on nutrition could yield up to 23,000 returns, underscoring the critical importance of addressing malnutrition, particularly among vulnerable populations. There is no gainsaying the fact that food inflation has gone beyond the roof. Not just hit the roof, it's gone beyond the roof, and the prices of food items in the market are soared. Borders are still closed to many of these food items being imported. How can we combat malnourishment while this is happening?
And for me, that I don't like people, institutions, or organizations that both sides of the mouth. About a week or two ago, somebody from the vice president of the World Bank came to Nigeria and said that Tinubu should sustain his policies for the next 10 to 15 years. That was what the vice president of World Bank that visited Nigeria said in Abuja. That the reforms that Tinubu is doing now, which has a lot of hardship, should be sustained for the next 10 to 15 years. And this time they are now warning Nigerians. So this is confusion. This is confusion, but I keep on saying that World Bank, IMF are enemies of developing countries. IMF, World Bank don't want Africans to develop. World Bank, IMF, WTO are instruments that the Western is using to develop Africa. But the advice is a good one, because most Nigerians, that you don't even talk of balance anymore in this country. What everybody is talking about is praying. Let me use that word. Is to have something to eat. Whether it is balanced or not, let just something enter the store, which is not good for anybody. So talking about malnourishment, the former governor of Adamawa State, Motana Inyako, is my very good friend. And one day when I visited him, he took me to his farm. That's Nyako Farms, a very big farm that he wanted even to build a university inside. So he told me that that the major cause of Boko is malnourishment. That is what Motana Nyako told me. That the major cause of Boko Haram is malnourishment. That the northern youths are eating very well. And when you don't eat very well, your brain will not develop. Understand? And when your brain are not developed, it is very easy to be washed. So and this is true, because our brain makes use of 20% of what we eat. So when you are not eating, you are starving your brain. And when your brain is starved, it will malfunction. So when people are not eating well, it affects them. And this hardship that we are going through at this point in time in the country, when the effect will come, Nigerians will not even remember where it all started. They will not know that it is what the APC government cost on the Nigerian masses. They will not know that APC is the cause of maybe different kinds of madness that will be. When your brain is not well developed, it will malfunction. And when your brain is malfunctioning, it is madness of a different kind. When someone is thinking well, what it is. And if your brain is well developed, there's no way you can think well. And when you are not thinking, when you are not eating, you cannot think well. So APC is causing different kinds of madness to Nigerians. We will begin to
due to this madness is coming from malnutrition.
Malnutrition. When you are not eating well, your brain will be starving of food, because your brain takes 20% of whatever you eat to develop. So when your brain is not developing, it will not function well. But this thing is not going to manifest now. It may start manifesting maybe in the next 10, 20 years. And by then, people will be wondering, where did this thing start? They will not remember that it was what it cost about 10, 15 years back. So what said is true, because we are losing our youths. with this hunger that is going on in the country. Because many Nigerians are not eating well. And when eating well, there's no way that their brain can develop well. And when your brain is not well developed, you are going to have a kind of madness. So in the near future, we may be becoming now we are a country of not only multi-dimensional poverty, but a country of beggars. Understand? And from a country of beggars, we are going to transit to a country of mad. You'll be hearing in the next 10 to 15 years, Nigeria has the biggest of mad people in the world.
That's quite a bleak projection, and all of this from hunger.
From hunger.
There are people that have the opinion that we seem to be blaming the international institutions more for our predicament rather than holding our own government accountable. For example, look at what the World Bank is saying. You need to pay more attention to nutrition. Malnutrition is really, really killing a lot of your people. And it has come out to say that the removal of subsidy wasn't even done by them. It wasn't even just their advice. It was a domestic decision, that it was the federal government who decided to make this decision. Why do we keep blaming them for our woes?
Well, I keep on saying World Bank, IMF think for leaders that cannot think for themselves. There's no vacuum in nature. Once you cannot think for yourself, somebody must start thinking for you. Once you fail to be responsible for yourself, another person will start becoming responsible for you. So because what leaders are not thinking for themselves, IMF, World Bank is now thinking for IMF is now thinking for them. No country in the world has developed with IMF, World Bank program or policies. Because IMF, World Bank is not Nigeria. It is not for Africa.
But you've just said that this particular, what they're saying about nutrition or malnutrition in the country, that they're saying the right thing. So are they is wrong, or just in instances that affect the majority of the people?
I say they are talking both sides of the mouth.
So they can't say remove subsidy, float the naira, to complain about the fact that malnutrition is killing people.
About 2 days ago, a vice president of World Bank said that Tinubu's reform, which is bringing hunger, hardship, this malnutrition they are talking about, should be sustained for 10 to 15 years. Then the same World Bank, in another breath, is not talking about malnutrition. Isn't it a contradiction? So this shows you that's organized institution, each coming with its own opinion, but overall they are not good for Africa. They are not good for Nigeria. Countries that avoid World Bank and programs do well. That's why Burkina Faso doing well now, because Traoré, the head of state of Burkina Faso, injected their money. That's why the economy of Nigeria is now better, because they chased America and France away from their country. Understand me? Money will soon bounce, because they say IMF, World Bank, we don't need you. We don't need your grant, because the conditions for accepting their grant is inimical, anti-people, because you must devalue your money, you must introduce subsidy, and you must cut down on social welfare. And government is all about the people. Then when you cut down on the welfare, social welfare of the people, it means that people are suffering. Understand me? So this is what the IMF does to countries everywhere.
Okay, let's move forward in the conversation and talk about the social Democratic Party candidate, a presidential candidate in the 2023 elections. I'm talking about Adewale Adebayo, accusing President Tinubu of doing President Tinubu's led government, that's the administration, of doing business rather than running the country. Now, in an interview with journalists earlier in the week, he claimed that the primary duty of this administration is business, and that's why they are trying to run the petroleum industry to have a regulatory framework. In fact, he's saying the federal government sees Nigerians as customers they can get extra money from by hoarding petrol.
Well, he's saying it's true.
That the federal government is hoarding petrol?
That's not even that the main thing. The main thing is that the Tinubu administration, the APC government, is seeing Nigerians as citizens but as customers. They are seeing Nigerians as customers, not even as citizens. Because if you see somebody as a citizen, you will care for the person. But if you see somebody as a customer, your interest will be on profit maximization. And that is what government is seeing Nigeria as. That is why Tinubu told us that one, when they're sending out 1,000 naira, CNG is 200 naira. Choose one. So he is seeing you as a customer, not as a citizen. That is also why Adenabu, the Minister of Power, told you that Nigerians are no more sad because fuel is sending out 1,000 naira because power supply has improved. So they are talking to you as a citizen. They are talking to you as a customer. Understand? So, and if you are in business, customer is who you make your profit from. That's why if you follow the news this week, they were still talking of increasing value. So all they are thinking of is how to make profit from the citizens, how to bring a succor to them, not how to improve their welfare being, but how to make profit from them. So what the LP former presidential candidate said is true. They are not seeing us as Nigerians. They are just seeing us as customers. Now imagine a situation where a father and a mother will be seeing all the children as customers. Which means all you care is how to make profit from them. And that's exactly what this APC Tinubu administration is on all out to achieve, which is very, very unfortunate, because there's none of their programs or policies that have human face. All they are doing is just how to maximize profit from the Nigerian masses. So I'm 100% in support of that view.
From Adewale Adebayo. Well, in the event of this, a lot of people will always say, Nigerians, your destiny is in your hand. You're not ready. When you're ready, you will get up and do something. If you're saying that the federal government, the Nigerian government, is Nigerian citizens as customers or clients and want to make profit off of them, how then can we rise above the current economic situation of the country? Not just this economic situation, security. There is a whole lot of factors that Nigerian citizens are not happy about.
Well, I'll keep on. Nigerians must not resign to fate. Nigerians must not resign to fate. Those in power hold it cross for the Nigerian masses. The power that they are exercising there is not theirs, but it is ours. But these politicians have succeeded in dividing us in different religious associations, ethnic groups, that's using sentiment. Therefore, we cannot speak with one voice. That is the instrument. What they are doing right now is divide and rule, and which is also what Buhari started. When Buhari told you that those when he came with his infamous 7.5%, that those who gave him 5% vote will not get anything with those who gave him 97%. Even though at the end of the day nobody even get. Those that gave him 97 did not get anything. Understand? Even those that gave 5% were even better off. Understand? Because they expected nothing and they were not disappointed with the outcome of Buhari's administration. So Buhari's 8 years did not, that gave him only 5%. Even I was even questioning that percent. We are better off because they did not expect anything from him. So that is it.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm your host, my Shama Innocent, and the voice you've been hearing belongs to Mr. Peter Anosike, and he's our analyst for today. We are discussing issues that made the major headlines during the week. It's exactly 4:30 p.m. right now. At 5 p.m. on the dot, the phone lines will be open so that you can share your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, and your contributions on the program and everything we're discussing today with us. We're Voice of the People on 3 FM. We're here to make sure that you have a voice. We have first of all discussed the World Bank expressing concern about Nigeria's malnourished children, and it has urged the federal government to act fast to prevent this. And of course, we just took a look at SDP presidential candidate, that's Social Democratic Party presidential candidate in last year's general election, Adewale Adebayo, accusing President Bola Tinubu administration of doing business rather than running the country. Let's now talk about petroleum, which seems to be the bones of Nigerians' existence at this very moment. Deregulation. Be ready to pay market price for petrol, oil marketers tells Nigerians. Now the oil market is saying that, at the point right now, Nigerians are battling latest increase in prices of PMS from 170. Many Nigerians can't even remember the time they used to buy fuel at 175 naira. Let's talk about 85 naira. It's currently between 1,000 and 1,300, depending on your location. Now, the Group Managing Director of Rain Oil Limited, Gabriel Ogbeche, has warned Nigerians to prepare to pay full market price for petrol products due to the deregulation of the downstream sector by the federal government. And okay, the president's decision on the removal of fuel subsidy is a good one. It allowed for healthy competition in the downstream sector. The president did the right thing, but he's saying at some point the Nigerian government had to intervene to calm things down, and the NNPCL went back to fix the prices of petroleum products. To the average Nigerian, they don't know what all of this means. What does it mean to deregulate the downstream sector, and how does this affect the price of petrol? For those who do not understand, before we talk about price fixing and oil marketers telling Nigerians, be ready to pay market price for petrol, 1,100 naira upwards.
Well, there you can see that confusion. One, when there's deregulation, government don't fix prices. Understand? Market forces determine prices. But here they told you that they have deregulated and NNPC is fixing prices. So there is a confusion. But the truth is that the only benefit that people get from government is subsidy. The only benefit that people get from government is subsidy. And it is even, there's nowhere in the world that things are not subsidized. Either that food is subsidized, food is subsidized, school fees subsidized, energy, electricity, that's for no income earners subsidized. So there's nowhere in the world that subsidy is not used. Nowhere in the world. In America, in UK, in Germany, everywhere in the world. It's only in Africa that IMF, World Bank could be saying remove subsidy. But one unfortunate thing is that when this Western world want to punish Africans, their leaders will join hand in the punishment. the few things that your people are benefiting from the government, there are people in the Western world will be telling you cut down on social welfare, cut down on social security, and the leaders in Africa, so-called leaders in Africa, will accept and join hand in punishing their people, without knowing that this Western world don't like you. Around 2001, Obasanjo signed the World Trade Organization, the WTO. That time I shouted. They came with all fanciful word that this is going to open trade, open borders, and so on and so forth. I said, one, it is going to be against Nigeria. We shouldn't sign this WTO agreement because we are not a producing country. I say if we sign this agreement, other countries in the world are going to use Nigeria as a dumping ground for their products. I raised this and that when this issue of signing a WTO came about, because we are an underdeveloped economy. There's no way Nigeria can compete with China. There's no way a manufacturer in Nigeria can compete with a manufacturer in China or in UK, because they have a enabling environment, they have incentives, they have no of energy. Understand me? And they can borrow money at 0 point interest rate. So there's no way a Nigerian manufacturer can compete with a manufacturer in China. Here, everything is on the high side. And you borrow money from Nigeria bank at 10 to 15% interest. There's high cost of energy, electricity, high cost of diesel. Then there's no infrastructure. You don't get any incentive from government. So if the Chinese manufacturer has a 5% overhead cost, in Nigeria you are going to have 40% overhead cost. So there's no way you can compete with him. That's why I shouted then that Nigeria should not sign this agreement, that it's not going to favor us. But Obasanjo went ahead and signed it. Then what happened at the end of the day? You go to China to import a container of goods. China has seen that this product has a market in Nigeria. As you are going, they will send 20 containers of that same good to Nigeria. Now, saturate the market with their own, reduce all the price, you cannot send your own. So China is now using Nigeria as a dumping ground for their products because we signed the WTO. You see it?
Let's bring it back to the oil marketers saying Nigerians should be ready to pay market price for petrol due to deregulation. So you've explained right now what it means to deregulate the downstream sector.
Deregulation simply means that market forces should determine the price of the product. An instance, kerosene has been deregulated, so nobody's talking about kerosene anymore. It is when if you need it, whatever price that they are selling, you buy, because government has no hand there. So government is no more fixing the price of kerosene because it has been deregulated. In the same vein, if PMS has been deregulated, it is wrong for NNPC to fix the product and now tell me that it has deregulated. No. In the regulation, you remove your hand. Let the market forces determine the price.
But what is happening right now, even with this the regulation, right? Is NNPCL still fixing prices?
It is them that fix this current
price of petrol. But then how we know that this is affecting Nigerians in a way that it is difficult for them to buy petrol as much as they used to. Transport costs has hit the roof, and of course other other things that happens when the price of petroleum rises this way. But which is actually better for Nigerians? Now that it's been deregulated and the market forces can determine the price, or the federal government through the NNPC are fixing prices? And why is there deregulation and the NNPC are still fixing prices?
That confusion in the country. That's confusion in the country. For me, Nigeria need subsidy. That's in that. Understand me? Nigeria need sending fuel at 1,000 naira per liter is too much for Nigerians. So NNPC should reduce it so that it can become affordable to Nigerians. That's my concern. So this their regulation thing, I'm not in support of it.
The deregulation, you're not in support of it?
No.
For the market forces to determine the price of petrol?
No.
Why not?
Nigerians need subsidy on that.
On petrol?
On petrol.
Now the subsidy on petrol has been removed. What if this subsidy is channeled into other different industries?
A corrupt government cannot do that.
You don't see them subsidizing food?
Subsidizing
with the fact
food.
That they've been announcing that some amount of some rice will be sold for 40,000 naira per bag.
Where have they sold it? Where have they sold it? You can even one of their so-called ministers or whatever. We are talking about fixing prices. Understand me? Price control. What price control does is scarcity. If they don't know what price control does is scarcity. Once you begin to fix price of products, people will begin to hoard it. So people who knows the economics 101 know that price control does more harm than good. You don't fix prices of goods. Now it's just like buying land, buying cement, and so on, building house. Government did not make any contribution. The government will now tell how much to charge as rent. I won't accept it. So price control does not help the economy. What it causes is scarcity. Because somebody cannot suffer to import food items from United States, Canada, pay all the duties. You now tell him how much to sell. That person will knock that thing up in his warehouse.
While we're talking about that, recently during the week, the presidency announced cost-cutting measures, saying that the present aides cannot move around as much convoy as they used to move around with. Would you say that is a laudable development in trying to cut down on the cost of governance in the country after the cabinet reshuffle?
Tinubu is not practicing what he is preaching. That's the problem.
How so? But he's just told his aides not to move around with a convoy of more than 2 cars.
But he removed the 5 ministers and appointed 7. What does that tell you? Before we had 48 ministers, now we have 50. But Constitution said one minister each from the 6 states. So instead of having 36 ministers, we're now having 50. And he's now telling you that his ministers should cut down on their convoy. So this is a government of confusion. They are not thinking straight. Our biggest problem is this government should cut down on the cost of their cabinet. Understand me? They should cut down on the cost of their cabinet. They should reduce the allowances of those in the National Assembly.
The one that Ojukwu is saying is not enough?
On what did Ojukwu said? That he makes is it 15 or 21 million a month?
That's not even enough to pay lawmakers. That they should be receiving more, because by the time they pay salaries out of that amount, what is
who are they paying to?
They are servants. You know, people that work with them, people that work for them, their workforce.
No, each of them is required to come with 3 or 4 people as researchers. Understand me? Each of them is required to come with 3 or 4 people to be helping them. Understand? in doing research. But when you see the kind of bills or the kind of arguments that they make, you know that those that no research comes from there. There's no depth in what they are saying or doing, which means those people don't exist. What they do is to bring their brothers and sisters and say, "Come and join me." That's in the assembly. So for me, they should cut down on the allowances of those people. It's not their salary is not even the main issue. They make hundreds of millions from the allowances from their oversight functions. They make hundreds and millions of naira from the allowances and overhead funds. So their salary is not all the problem. Even if they tell you that we don't want salary for 4 years, they are deceiving you. Their salary is not Nigerian problem. But the allowances and overhead oversight functions, that's where the money is. That's where this budget padding comes up. That's where corruption comes up. Because they go to these ministries, departments, and agencies and begin that to coerce them to be giving them contracts and so on and so forth.
All right, because of our time, let's move on to our very next topic and talk about Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, saying it will continue to be a problem. Why everyone wants to be a problem? I will continue to be a problem to Atiku, Peter Obi, and the PDP governors. According to Wike, it's 15 minutes before 5 p.m. You're listening to Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the number one station that gives you a voice in the world. Don't forget that at 5 p.m. the phone lines will be open so that we can hear from you. All right. So last week, a luncheon was organized for members of the 10th River State House of Assembly loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in Port Harcourt, where the FCT Minister pledged his unflinching support for President Bola Tinubu. Now, Atiku described Wike's comment as a lingering symptom of the bitterness he harbors from his defeat in the 2022 presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Peter Obi's spokesman is saying that Obi and his media team will not dignify Wike with a response. Wike is saying Atiku supporters believe he fought against his presidential ambition, but he was only seeking fairness, justice, and equity. But that statement, I will continue to be a problem to Atiku, Peter Obi, and PDP governors.
Well,
rather than facing his work as the FCT minister.
Well, for me, Atiku and Peter Obi are happier than Wike. Wike is a very bitter man.
How would you know
forget that he is dancing. He is dancing. That on the surface, Wike is a very bitter man inside. He is bitter. He is a defeated man inside, and he knows that. So Atiku Abubakar is far more happy. Is happier than Peter. Is happier than Nyesom Wike. Atiku is 78 now, but he is looking healthier than Nyesom Wike. Understand me? Atiku could be more than 30 years or 20-something years older than Nyesom Wike, but he is looking healthier than Nyesom Wike. And that's what bitter mind does to an individual. Peter Obi is healthier and happier than Nyesom Wike. Money does not bring happiness. Money does not bring happiness. So Wike is sorrowing inside. Whatever you are seeing outside is mere packaging. I know that some governors take happiness drugs.
Which one is happiness drugs?
There are happiness drugs, but it is artificial happiness. And that's what Wike will be taking, because inward he is a very bitter, sad person. Inward he is a very bitter, sad, wicked person. So these people that he said that he continue being a problem to, for me, they are operating on a higher frequency. So what a P2B said that they will not dignify him. I'm 100% in support of it. You must not be, it's not every dog that barks that you will stop and waste your time. So it is not every dog that barks that you just stop and waste your time. So he is problem to himself. Understand? P2B is not looking at him. I think he's not looking at him because these two gentlemen are their ways are higher than Nyesom Wike's ways. Their thoughts are higher than Nyesom Wike's thoughts. Understand me? So they are operating on a far higher frequency than Nyesom Wike. So there cannot be problems to them.
You're saying Wike does not have what it takes to be that much of a problem. Like he thinks he is like a bone in the neck of Peter Obi, Atiku and PDP
He is problem unto himself. Understand me? Even if P2B did not become Nigeria president, he is still far better than Nyesom Wike. Even if Atiku did not become Nigeria president, he is still far better than Nyesom Wike. Understand me? So Wike is a bitter man. Nothing can make him happy. Nothing can make it. So it's only drug that can make Nyesom Wike happy.
Okay. I don't think you know Wike well enough to say he's taking any form of drugs to make him happy or to say he's taking happiness drugs. But we quite understand where you're coming from. Let's take our last topic. It's 10 minutes before 5 p.m. so that we can be on cue to start taking your calls at exactly 5 p.m. Don't forget that we're streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is head on over to the YouTube app and type into the search bar VOP 903 FM, VOP 903 FM on YouTube, and you can get to watch us live and direct. For our final topic, former Nigerian President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is saying that punishing the Igbos, that's punishing the Southeast region, the Southeast people for the January 1966 coup and for the Biafra secessionist effort is unfair. He's saying it's unfair to blame only the Igbos for attempting to secede from Nigeria. He's also saying that the three major ethnic nationalities had at one time or another attempted to break out of the country, 3 million casualties and more. Right? Do you actually believe that there is, would I call it a cabal or a formation that is preventing anyone that is Igbo from ascending to the presidency? Because we do conduct elections in Nigeria and people vote, and if the person they vote for to be their president is not Igbo, how can we blame that on anyone?
For me, the word punishing the Igbo is a very strong word. I don't go by that word because Igbos are not desperate to rule Nigeria. I keep on saying that. Igbos are not desperate to rule Nigeria because those who are ruling, how better off are they? I'll keep on making this argument. Those who, the North that has ruled Nigeria for at least 48 years out of the Nigeria 60 something, at least the North are ruled over 50 years. How better off are they than the Igbos? I'll keep on making this argument. The West, who have also ruled, Obasanjo ruled there for 8 years, then Tinubu is now in power. How are they better off than the Igbos? Is their standard of living better than that of the Igbos? The answer is capital no.
Oh, so you're saying even if an Igbo man becomes president, it doesn't mean that the Southeast region will be better off than it is now?
It will not turn Nigeria to, it will not turn Southeast to New York. It will not turn Southeast, understand me? So the word punishing the Igbo it is Nigeria that is punishing themselves. Those who have ruled, how better off are they? In this year's WAEC, Abia came first. Katsina, Buhari's own country, state, came 36th. What has power done to them? So Igbos are not desperate to be president. But I believe that the day an Igbo man becomes president of this country, things will change.
But is that not ironical, considering you've said that others who have ruled before, it didn't make their regions better? When people say, oh, it's my brother in power, that doesn't mean that your life will be better. And an Igbo man cannot change the fortune of Nigeria and make the Southeast region better.
I will explain what I mean. One, when Buhari Buhari said that those who gave him 97, those who gave him 5% vote will not get the same thing with those who gave him 97%. Understand me? Where he is going to is discrimination. I'm going to discriminate against those who did not vote for me. That was what he was saying. But an Igbo man cannot say that.
Apart from the former president, who else has said that? So if you say an Igbo man cannot say that, one could argue that that was just his own
Tinubu said that Igbos will get soaked bread. Understand me? That is what Tinubu said, that Igbos will get soaked bread. But the issue is this. Why an Igbo man will make a difference as a president in this country is that in any state in this country, after the indigenes, the second population is the Igbos anywhere in the country. After the indigenes, go to Sokoto, go to Kanu, go to Ondo, go to Akwa Ibom. After the indigenes of that state, the second people with regard to population is the Igbo.
Do you have like a documentation in effect that actually shows that this is what it is, to confirm these statistics? Because you've said after the indigenes, the next people are Igbo.
In the 36 states of the country. Understand me? In the 36, after the indigenes, the next with regard to population is the Igbo. Understand me? In the 36. So what this thing tells you is that a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction will not discriminate against any state in the country. Because anywhere he tries to do it, he is also discriminating against his own people, because his own people are in large numbers in that state. An instance, a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction will not discriminate in Lagos State, because there are over 4.5 million Igbos in Lagos State. An Igbo president will not want to discriminate against Ondo State, because there are more than 1 million Igbos in Ondo State. The same thing in Kanu, the same thing in Kaduna, the same thing in Abuja. So an Igbo man will be more open-minded than any other part of this country. So this is where an Igbo man as a president will make a difference. Discrimination will not be part of his agenda, because he has his people in all the 36 states of the country. Number two, an Igbo man is a thoroughbred businessman. Understand? He will not engage in wasteful spending as Buhari did, as Tinubu is doing now. We know how to add 1 kobo and 1 kobo to make it 2 naira. That is what we did with the 20 pounds that they gave to us after the Civil War. We know how to multiply money. We know how to get money. But in Nigeria, you see somebody who has not prepared a balance sheet, somebody who did not know the difference between debit and profit, understand, and becoming a president. What do you expect? So an Igbo man being a president is an advantage to Nigerians. But as I say, we are not desperate for that. If they want, fine. If they don't want, you can never defeat any people who are in control of commerce. Understand me? You can never defeat a people who controls commerce. Go and steal your money. You come and use it and buy food. go and steal government money, you spend it, you hand it over to the Igbos. You cannot drink your oil. You still give it back to the Igbos. So wherever you are, do anything. Igbo man is waiting for you in his shop. You must come there. You can't avoid it. Then on the 1966 coup, the truth is that coup did more harm to the Igbo than good. That's the truth. A lot of Nigerians don't know. That coup is against Igbo interest. Because before that coup, Igbos were dominating everywhere in the country. Go and research. Before that coup, before that 1966 coup, Igbos were dominating in all sectors in the country. Zik, that was the president. Nwafọ Orizu was the Senate president. Igbos were dominating in all the sectors. So those people that plotted that coup are enemies of the Igbos. Even the person that they want to inherit that government is not an Igbo man, but a Yoruba man. So this is what most people don't do. And for those who don't know, during that time, the person in charge of the armory, where all the arms are for the key, was an Igbo man, a colonel. He refused to release the key of the armory because he's not in support of the key. The man who was in charge of the armory when that 1966 coup wanted that to happen was an Igbo man. He refused to release the key to the armory because it is not an Igbo key. But things are happening. They are now pushing it. They push it to the Igbo. Fine and good. Understand me? But those who know history should know that coup, that it is just Igbo enemies that is attributing that coup to the Igbos. That 1966 coup did more harm to the Igbos than good.
But the former president now is saying that it is due to that the Igbos are being punished and not allowed to ascend to the position of the presidency. Do you agree with that particular assertion?
We are not being punished. We are not desperate for president. I keep on saying it. We are not desperate for presidency. Obasanjo is from Abeokuta. After 8 years, are Abeokuta people better than the Igbos? Buhari is from Katsina. After 8 years, are Katsina people better than Anambra or Imo people? So we should first fact saying that they are punishing us. They can't punish us. What will help Nigeria is live and let live. That is what will help this country. A state where everybody will be free to do what he or she wants. But if they don't, Nigeria will keep on making one step forward and 4 steps backward. But my joy is that you cannot defeat people who control commerce. Hitler wanted that to do it. It failed. At a point in time, Hitler will come and seize all the stores, all the shops belonging to the Jews, and give it to his own people. But within 2-3 weeks, they will send it back to the Jews because they don't know what to do with it. So I know that there's discrimination, but saying that they are punishing us, Nigeria is punishing themselves for not allowing an Igbo man to rule.
It's 3 minutes past 5 p.m., which means it's time for the phone line to be opened. You have been listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's now time for me to hear from you, a Voice of the People. Of course, we want to hear from you. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. You can send a message on WhatsApp to 0817 175 6338 0817 175 6338. We've discussed quite a number of topics today. Let me hear from you. You're my very first caller for the day. Good afternoon. Welcome to the recap.
My radio girl.
Monday.
Good afternoon, man.
How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm fine. Oh, happy weekend.
Thank
and
you
happy
so
birthday.
much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's hear from you quickly on the issues which we've discussed today.
I greet Peter. No, CK. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, he greets you too.
So you should answer me.
Good afternoon.
You see, Peter no CK is a good analyst and he breaks it down. We have mad people now in Africa, not only Nigeria. Because Nigeria is the... And Tinubu now brings his own policy now pointing Nigeria, making things difficult for the poor masses. Yeah? Look at 1,000 cannot afford anything. People will be scratching it, calculating. Ever since, even when we are talking about Dangote, Buhari make Dangote policy said, good, we can buy fuel 180 naira. We can buy fuel 150 per liter. How come this thing be like a knife blade? And you will tell me that APC supporters are looking at this, are supporting this. How can we not have mad people in the street, mad people all over the Nigeria? Now, 2027 will come now, they will close eyes to voting again because of the thing he's doing for the people, or the lie and the cheating. And he promised us that he will not use Nigeria currency, he will make the country to be better. He's very rich, and he had that money to do it. But to make his policy and abide to the constitution and the law, no, everything is corrupt and spoiled. And as for Wike, he's a drug man.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Monday, for calling 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. You can also send a message on WhatsApp to 0817 175 6338. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can leave a comment on our YouTube video, and of course, we will take it before the end of the program. Welcome to Recap. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Hello, good evening, Chioma.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
My name is Mary. I'm calling from First Start.
Welcome to the conversation.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My Lord bless your new age.
Well, amen.
Yeah, Mr. Lusika, good evening. Yes, he has just finished digesting everything. His analysis are always very apt and correct. So I just want to add some of the issues people raised. About the World Bank, I think the World Bank, like Mr. Ezekiel rightly said, they are enemies of this country. Because coming to
Hello, are you there?
Coming to tell us that this and that about maybe vomiting one today, telling us it's not right. They are just punishing, telling us that molesting. Didn't they consider these things before granting all these loans to this government? And this government they are not applying the law correctly. So they're just playing to the gallery. Then the SDP presidential candidate statement is very correct. The man, our president he's just doing business. That is good. You don't even need somebody to trade with you or otherwise. Everything, okay, look at what they are passing through in this oil industry. Wow. Dangote mentioned Malta. As the president come to the bank who has my refinery in Malta, this is just a private business. People have come up with a lot of speculations about how the family runs, they are taking the Malta, and he's not saying anything.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of this conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, what's your name and location, please?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location?
This is Monday from Safejo.
Welcome, Monday, all the way from Safejo. Let's hear from you.
The issue of fuel. The present government. Let me tell you that the people at NNPC, they are bigger, more stronger than the president.
Why'd you say so?
The issue of fixing, can't you see what is happening? I am very sure that Tinubu meant well for this country. But the people in that sector, they are the problem. Imagine, people that are working there, many of them are collecting salary without doing anything. And look at the restructuring in this country. Has this president ever touched NNPC? No. So, they are bigger, stronger than the government. Good evening.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of this conversation. I see your messages on WhatsApp and your comment on YouTube. Do keep them coming. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Good evening. My name is Henry. Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Henry.
Welcome, Henry. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah. Actually, I want to disagree with the last caller who said that things meant well for this country. Because to me, I believe there is no any. If a president is ruling the country and I have a lot of people appointed into to take charge of affairs for him, I don't believe any of them should be to be more than him, like the NNPC, like every other places that he appoints people to control on his behalf. I don't believe that any of them should be greater than him. If any of them is better than him or trying to do things that doesn't want, then I believe he's at his disposal to get him fired. I don't believe that, because to me, I believe the president himself is one of the problems of this country.
Why'd you say so?
What? Fine. The problem is he has said a lot of things that actually made me believe is one of the problems, such as like the one he said, which is if you think you cannot afford the petrol at 1,000 naira, you should go for CNG at 200, which is a statement I don't think every Nigerian that will go down with every Nigerian. And to me, I believe if anything is going on in the country, like this, for example, the NNPC case as it is, are you telling me Kyari decision is concerning everything that Kyari has been doing? President doesn't know what to do about his case. If Kyari is doing some things that is against the president's rules or president's thoughts, then the president thinks this is going to tarnish his image as a president. I mean, if he's not in support, should have fired him before now. So, and if he's not fired him, which means he's strongly behind whatever Kyari is doing. But that's just my concern. So I don't believe. I mean, to those who actually believe Tinubu is not a problem, it's not a problem in this country, or probably some people are sabotaging his efforts, I believe it's a very big lie. That's to me.
Thank you.
That he himself knows what is going on. Are you telling me, as a president, Minister of Petroleum, if he wants the means well for this country, he can't do anything right? There are some kind of conspiracy theory that I don't believe in. That's just it.
Thank you so much for your call, Henry. It's a pleasure hearing from you. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn down your radio set. Thank you. What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, this is Mazi from Okota.
Welcome, Mazi. How are you doing today? Happy weekend. Let's hear from you quickly.
Mr. Peter Nusika, good evening, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me start by the commissioners, changing of commissioners. You see, most of the commissioner that the president changed, I don't think they are the problem of this administration. You see, the problem of this administration started from that first day. That subsidy is gone. And the way the fuel price jumped from 200 naira 185 to 1,000 something, that is the problem we are facing today. Unless that issue is being addressed, I don't think, even if they go and bring commissioner for health, nothing will change. Then number two, there's something that is still that I'm confused about. You see, this issue of fuel subsidy we are talking about. You see, how can you subsidize what you have? Does it mean that we don't have crude oil again? What are they subsidizing? Now they are not importing fuel. They are not exporting fuel. Okay, now what are they subsidizing? Is it that we don't have the crude again? Now, even if they are subsidizing fuel, what of the other product that comes out of this crude oil? What happened to them? Who is buying it from them? Is it that they used to throw it away? We need to address that thing properly so Nigerians can know where we are going. Because everything, they're just hiding everything in secrecy. But we don't know what is going on. Nigeria belongs to everybody. But they are just doing this now. This Nigeria belongs to some group of people. Let them address this issue. There's no way Nigerians will be buying fuel at less than 200 naira. Something that is at our backyard. So that's my contribution to this business. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing today? What's your name and location, please?
Good evening, Barrister.
He can hear you. And Ms. Anoske is not a barrister.
Sorry. This is Jim Silva from Igondo.
Okay. You might want to get, I don't know, closer to your device. I can hardly hear you.
This is Jim Silva from Igondo.
Welcome. Let's hear from you quickly in 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. When you see a leader that have a skeleton is combat, can you hear me?
Yes.
There's no way he can control. There's no way he can control his followership. One, if you see a leader that his hand is not clean, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There's no way he can control his member, what his followers. The issue that is happening in Nigeria, I'm telling you the truth. They know everything. But the people the people that are supposed to lead, the people that are supposed to do that to make Nigeria move forward, they just leave that aside. I'm telling you. I mean, Mama, but I will tell you the truth. They should allow the Igbo to rule this Nigeria. I'm sure I can bet it. Nigeria will move forward. You hear what I'm saying? Nigeria will move forward. I keep on saying it. This is not only individuals that have been saying it. Honestly speaking. But because of self-issue, because of self-center, they will not allow them. And there's no way, except, I'm telling you, if not, Nigeria is going nowhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of this conversation. On WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn off your radio set.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and location, please?
Sorry, I didn't finish my discussion. My line went off. This is Mayor from First Stack.
Welcome, Mayor. Let's hear from
So
you.
let me round up. Yeah, like I was saying, the president, the SDP president candidate just said it, and the earlier we take care of this, Nigerians take care of these things, because this thing is like a one-man business. The way the government is running, just because everything is just like profit making from all angles. Okay, look at the CNG they're talking about now. This CNG, they're not thinking about the outcome. People are saying that these things need to be renewed every 4, and even the conversion. How many Nigerians have the money to convert it? And secondly, now that the people are not using CNG, when you just move to CNG now, it might go up to 1,500 naira. Is CNG more? Is it present in Nigeria? Is it more present in Nigeria more than petrol that is all over the place? So the government is just doing tombo, that's trial and error. Then on Wike, you remember when he told us he drinks 40 or 50-year-old whiskey? Plus other things, those things are in the news. So even the one when he was the governor. So people don't take, and when the president went to campaign in Rivers State, he said on national TV that what are you going to tell me that you are going to continue from where we already stop? Is it the killing? Is it the suffering? So the same man that said this in Tinubu's presence now went behind, worked for the same thing, and now he's now telling us that Tinubu is the best. So he's not a serious person. Like Mr. President said, he's just frustrated, though he thinks that he's okay with the money he has. But for him, you can't compare him to Atiku and P2B. Even if you put him like a bullet and like a gun, and you can't get where even P2B first to cover this content Atiku. We can acknowledge them. He's embittered because he has lost relevance. People don't regard it. Even this thing is being just gra. He's embittered. So that is why he's fighting. The people you are fighting are better than you. Wike is not up to 60 years from his record that he's telling us. I think he's going to 80. Two of them, putting them alongside. P2B is even older than him. But look at how those people, and these people, you think you are frustrating because they didn't get presidency. You that is the presidency now, that I thought them governor, assuming Abuja is a, you are still looking, they're still looking fresher and more comfortable. So he's just like somebody that is like a politician that has lost relevance. So let him continue.
Thank you.
A day of reckoning is gone when his cup will be full.
Thank you
have
so
a
much
blessed
for
weekend.
your call. I really appreciate. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
My name is Peter Usifu. I'm calling from Abanaja in Ikosi.
Welcome to the program. Great to hear from you.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk again. First of all, the statement that Obasanjo made concerning the Igbo, I think is playing to the gallery. I said it for two reasons. One is just like a man who is about to die and then who writes will, making sure that those people who he said do not like him will like him after his death. One thing is that he now feels that he's not going to get any other thing from the Northern, from the Hausas, that he has gained a lot from them and nothing is left for him to gain now. And that's why he's pandering to the Igbos. Remember during the Biafran War, he was on the side of Biafra, of Nigeria. He fought against the Biafran seriously, and in fact, he was the one that went to collect the document of surrender. The Hausas sent him to go and get the document of surrender. So why is he now shouting about the Igbos, trying to support Peter Obianco when he knows that, in fact, the man will not have won that election? You understand? So he's just pandering to the Igbos just because he feels that he has nothing to gain from the Hausas at the moment. Then concerning Wike, I think Wike is a lucky man. Why I'm saying that is that he's always on the side of the government, the power that be, whenever he's fighting his opponent. Remember when he fought Rotimi Amechi, during the time of Jonathan? It was Jonathan and his wife, Patient Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, that actually supported him, and that was why he won that fight and later became the governor of Rivers State. This time around again, he's lucky to be on the side of the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So that is the reason why they have the confidence to say anything he wants to say against this, maybe against somebody like Peter Obi and of course maybe Ojukwu and of course the PDP governors that are not in support. You can see that he's the key holder of PDP at the moment.
Okay.
Without him, there will be no PDP at the moment.
Without Wike, there will be no PDP at the moment. All right. Yeah, please round up your thoughts, please.
Lastly, thank you very much. Lastly, concerning Bianca's invitation to the government, the school of thought said that she should not accept it. To me, she should accept it with all hands, with the two hands wide open, because it will be a benefit to the Igbo as it was. And moreover, let us even assume now that if the government, wants to probably free Nnamdi Kanu and they give him that condition that you must join APC, we are not going to make you any officer, but you must propagate for APC and make sure you support APC. And you accept it. Remember what happened during the time of Shagari MPN when they forgave Ojukwu. They made him to sign an agreement and made him to support NPN, National Party of Nigeria at that time.
Mr. Osike, please round up so we can hear from others.
Yeah, but women Nnamdi Kanu is forgiving today to support APC. I know many Igbos will say against him. They say no, they have betrayed Igbos. That is, he said there. And probably he may say there and die. And these Igbos who are in support of him will continue to enjoy. So it's unfortunate.
Thank you so much.
Before we make any
Thank you for your call. Thank you so much.
I want to say something.
All right.
It is Peter Sifo that should be forgiven, not Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu does not need any forgiveness from anybody because he did not do anything. So it is Peter Sifo that should ask for forgiveness, not Nnamdi Kanu.
Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Chama.
Hello, how you doing today, Remy?
Hey, you are doing birthday and you did not announce.
Emma Binu.
We shall report you. Well done, Mr. Peter.
Thank you so much.
Obasanjo, what he said. It was Obasanjo who smart affairs said the word Igbophobic. He said when he appointed Charles Odudo and Auntie Ungo, one of the best, brightest women in Nigeria has ever made, that some idiots came to him and said, why are you choosing Igbo people? These Igbo people. And he said he was angry. And those people he chose helped him to have Ngozi, Dora Akunyele, Soludo, were the star folks of Obasanjo's government. What Obasanjo said was, nobody should be discriminated or should face discrimination. That everybody deserves to be the president of Nigeria. That it is a dumb thing to say Igbo people cannot rule Nigeria. Whoever have problem to understand that simple expression should go and see their doctor. Now, DSS is violating court judgment. They said, allow Nnamdi Kanu to see his lawyer. Kanu is not a criminal. Nobody has convicted him of any atrocity. He deserves human rights. You are violating his human right. If DSS do not consider his human right to be protected, that equates DSS to other militant groups like NURTW, Boko Haram, and ISIS. Because if you are not operating by the law, they are simply telling us you are malicious. Lastly, it pains me when I heard people say NMPC is not the fault of Tinubu. Guy, any leader that tells you, I'm working hard, it is people that are sabotaging my efforts, that leader should be rusticated, okay? Because you are a commander-in-chief. Stop all this thing. Now, look, you, Choma, you are an educated human being. If white people want to remove subsidy, they don't just do it immediately. They kind of give allowance, maybe like 2 years, and say in 2 years, we remove oil subsidy. But for now, let's begin to provide the infrastructure that will make us maintain this regime. You do not have the infrastructure to pursue your economic agenda, and you just delve into it. A lot of people are dying because of this. Chama, I've heard people die because of 50,000 naira, because they couldn't buy medication, drugs. And some people are telling me that is not supposed to be responsible. Those people who think Tinubu is not responsible for this economic madness, they need to go and see their doctor. Thank you, Jari.
Thank you so much, Oluremi Abati, for calling. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello?
Hi, what's your name?
Hello, good evening. Fine, how are you doing now?
I'm good. What's your name?
Fine, my name is Farouk.
Where are you calling me from, Farouk?
I come from Okuna Estate now on Delaware side.
Great to hear from you, Farouk.
So our custom is say, I always listen to your program. I hear your people always Igbo or Yoruba. They can talk about to consider Hausa, always.
I beg, reduce the volume of your radio. I beg, reduce the volume of your radio.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So always we are complaining about Hausa always. But we, Northern Nigeria, any problem what we have, we don't complain about Igbo. So Igbo be president or not be president, concern us. to be like that. So what thing they put their mind, they say, now we Hausa always, we not so. So this country, the person when he says the first president for Nigeria is Igbo man. When you won't do something, do good foundation so that your back go fit dey okay. All this problem when they carry to say Hausa always. You know why we keep quiet? They say we don't say God can judge us to be this country. This country is not a Hausa problem because now we they suffer since 1960. All we reach now. Hausa might not rule this country. It's on Fulani and Igbo and Yoruba. To one person will be president in Nigeria, that is Muslim Mohammed. But we will not consider all these things. Anyone where you rule is your own concern. Because when God gives you opportunity to rule people, He don't give you having something. If you do good, it's there tomorrow. If you not do good, God can judge you always. So all this matter when they say Hausa, you can't allow to Igbo rule. For what thing? Why the same country? This is not the matter. So only this is the big problem, and we will not consider that one. Now only we Nigeria, losing Nigeria will go die just like that. I will not kick, I will keep quiet. I will know any trouble. But all this country only join. One let Eradua come. He do good for South. And he not plan anything for losing Nigeria. When Buhari come, I did not plan anything when losing Nigeria. Now only so far is powerful. Because Buhari, we vote Buhari because Buhari stop Boko Haram. And Buhari never stop Boko Haram. Fulani then come. Cannot take on. All these things, they disturb us. But you, not people no agree make you will rest. Only in the house, It's no good. So that is our own question. Why the thing can be like that?
Thank you, Farouk. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, make it a listen, they go. Thank you. We appreciate you. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Hello there. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Chama.
Hi, it's Miss. What's your name and your location, please?
Good evening. My regards to Mr. Anosike.
Yeah, he greets you too. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Keke Gold from Oshodi.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, you guys are doing a great job. So I want to air my opinion on Peter Osofo.
No, please don't air your opinion on Peter Osofo. Air your opinion on what we discussed.
Please, just allow me to say one thing.
Please, sir.
Please.
I need you to just talk about what we discussed. I'm begging you, please. Peter Osofo is not the topic of conversation. Mr. Anoske, Peter Osofo is not the topic of conversation, okay? Please, let's talk about what is going on with us as Nigerians and all the different issues that we discussed. What do you have to say about what the World Bank said about malnourishment, please? You don't want to talk again? Keke Gold. All right. We discussed quite a number of topics on the program today. In case you cannot remember, let me enlighten you. The World Bank has expressed its concern about Nigeria's malnourished children and has urged the federal government to act. We also talked about SDP presidential candidate in last year's general election, Adewale Adebayo, saying the Nigerian government is doing business, treating Nigerians as customers, not running the country. And we also talked about oil marketers telling Nigerians to be ready to pay market price for petrol. We talked about Wike saying he will continue to be a problem to Atiku, Peter Obi, and PDP governors. And finally, we talked about former President Olusegun Obasanjo saying punishing Igbos for January 1966 coup and Biafra secession efforts is unfair. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Thank you so much for holding on.
Hello, Choma. Good evening.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
My name is Joval Choma.
Welcome, Joval.
And I greet you well and happy birthday to
Thank you
Choma.
so much. I appreciate you.
I'd like to hear Mr. Peter Nosike. Good evening, Mr. Peter Nosike.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. You are doing a good job, Choma. Choma, please, people who come to tell us history about this country should not misrepresent history. I will leave them with this brief quote. History is man's best friend when properly kept. History becomes man's worst enemy when improperly kept. That aside, Mr. Yeso Wike, he should just go and take one place and rest. He should rest. God has blessed him. He should rest. Mr. Anosike rightly put it. Wike doesn't look younger anymore. The stress is too much. The trouble is too much. The war is too much. He should rest so that he can enjoy himself and the beautiful wife that God gave him. Now, Chioma, the president told us that you cannot buy fuel for 1,000, that we should go for CNG. Obviously, if you turn it the other way, it means you cannot buy fuel for 1,000, then forget about it. And people are saying that it's not the president's fault. No, it is his fault. Because before he came into office, I keep asking this question. I don't know if anybody can answer it. As at when fuel was sold for 188 naira per liter just last year in Nigeria, the subsidy that this government was paying on each liter of petrol was less than 50 naira, Choma. Choma, if you add 50 naira to 188 naira, it is not even up to 250 naira. How was it possible that immediately the president said subsidy is gone, NNPC took the fuel price to 480 naira? Choma, if you minus 480 from 188, it means that the government was paying almost 290 something naira to subsidize a liter of fuel. That was not the story we know. So from there it rose up to where it has become now in just a year and about a few months. Something is fishy about that NNPC. And I am so shocked that the president, whom we heard worked in Mobil Oil, who is supposed to know all these things, is allowing this to go on, and people are saying it's not his fault. It is his fault. If it's not his fault, at least during the campaign period, he told us he was going to bring petrol price less than the amount he met it. So if the thing is going up and he doesn't do anything about it, people should stop exonerating him. Because even if you try to say it's not his fault, he is the substantive minister of petrol in Nigeria. So as a minister of petroleum resources, he owns the blame. If he's not the minister today, we'll not be talking about it. We'll be talking to the minister. The way we are talking about Wike in Abuja, I'm talking about the minister of power and all of those people who are not working, who are just like the eyes and the nose of the president. So he's to blame for that. So I like Nigerians to put history well, so that you don't come and confuse us, because we are already confused like this, Choma, that 100 naira cannot transport you from anywhere to anywhere in this country again. You cannot eat with 1,000 naira and be satisfied. What other confusion is somebody looking for? And somebody was going about, telling us about history, telling us about Igbos, Kawan, and all those people who are this man that is calling. Please, those who are talking about the youths, I don't want Nigeria to look like a tribal state. But we know that 2023 election presented us with the best, or let me say, 3 options to choose from. So we had a choice, and some people did not allow us to make our choice, and they brought us to where we are. So we should wake up from our slumber and do everything possible to get things right. Because, Choma, if we don't get it right, by the time this president finds his way again in government, Nigeria will no longer be a place of habitation.
Thank you so much,
Good evening.
Joel. Thank you so much for your call. Always a pleasure to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Choma Innocent.
How are you doing today?
Yes. I'm fine. So I greet you, Mr. Peter Nosike.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Happy weekend. Okay, Choma. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Zeri Nadi. Please go right ahead.
Okay. Well, the reason is this. Concerning what this Inquisitor party goes, that you will try to argue. You know what will be said as a journalist. People say, go and verify. So no need of agreeing on that. On a wiki, as this Mr. Anosike said, listen, after losing to Atiku, he's now in the stage of the song he raised at that time. Kamanga woman dolewa, wawonda. That is what Wike is doing. Nothing else. Wike just for people to just in the Fobara said it once said it. But Wike people will just in the front of everybody just sing and dance at the back and they're crying in their room. That's what Wike is doing. On the Obi and Africa, they are not a problem. Article this week, even for him, Wike to come out and to contest her this and say, how will I tell if what of is Wike win? What will I tell people? Go and go maybe come to this and look at my president. The way the man talk, I said Wike is going too far by this. He just go and waste his money. He said he just want to contest it. He said he went to Anambra and tell them that Obi will not win. They should not listen. Obi have to, for this, Obi left to the party for them to contest. There's I think we said that he want Southeast, if they will elect it, it's not need to Southeast. He will not contest. We can insist. Before they said, okay, do it, throw it open. We can, I think we will support him. That is where the Sargon is up to now, he's crying. So we can just try to make people feel that it's happy. It's not happy. The Wike is gone. Look at when Wike was carrying an umbrella. If you see the picture, when Wike was carrying an umbrella for good luck, you see how happy that man is. How this is fresh. But look at Wike today. Just Wike should not be this in a topic. Just shoot me. So on Igbo, on Igbo presidency, you see what Igbo is one tribe that he cannot. If Igbo Obi will happen to be Tinubu, Igbo will be the one to just protest against Obi to step down. That's how they do. Like a very rule after this, what you did, they look at what they did now. 8 years, none of the northern side voted him, just went against him. They are supporting him. Now look at what Yoruba they are doing now. He had been in Obi. You see, Igbo will just start it. That's how this thing, that this people is. They don't tell this thing. People will just try to criticize us. Sometimes they don't know what to say, all these things. They just say because of people are saying. Just if you enter that tribe, you know that this is that tribe especially made by God. So on the World Bank, they are not doing us any good. If what is happening, they cannot verify what the money, the loan they give to Nigeria, what they are using it for. Every time they just ask for loan, they do it. You see, World Bank. Let me not say anything.
Thank you, Zeri. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, my sister. And I greet Mr. Anosike.
Always a pleasure to hear from you. Thank you so much for your call. We'll take one more call, and that'll be all on the program for today. Welcome to the recap. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Sama.
Hi, how you doing?
Good evening, Sama.
Hello.
I greet your guest.
Yes, he greets you too. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Madam Yulin, calling from Agege.
Welcome, Madam. Let's hear from you quickly.
Fine, thank you. So I want to talk about Wike, saying that he's trouble PDP. He's troubling himself. I think it's time for his wife and his children to talk to him. Because Wike is not getting young. For him to be doing all these things with him. Because he did not get the ticket. And because he has the support of judiciary, he has the support of president, he has the support of everybody around him. So he gives him that big wave to do whatever he likes. But he forgot tomorrow. People that are there yesterday, where are they today? He should try to change, make amendments, and forget the past, and move on with people that make him to be human being today, that make him to be what he is today. Wike should try to mellow down, and his family have to talk to him. That is all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Eunice. It's a pleasure to hear from you. Well, that's all the calls we can take on the program this evening. We'll now move on to taking your comments on our YouTube platform and, of course, your messages on WhatsApp. Beginning from YouTube, we have Helen saying good evening. Good evening, Helen. Ebere Mwakuba says, Tinubu and his policies is like when you went for exam and you don't know question 1A, you move to question 1B. Then the question says, from the answer you get from 1A, expatiate. Then you know that you are gone. Abby Jones says, Shema Misanoski, I just want to say kudos to you for the good job you're doing. Thank you, Abby Jones. Lagaman TV says, Wike is a... Nigerman says, why in Anambra not allowing other tribes to rule, e.g. Udoma, Igala? Bianca was never allowed to contest as senator in Anambra. This man and fallacy is 5 and 6. Oga be truthful and Agui Ronsi take over and change regional government. He wanted to give power to Yoruba Awolowo. Please be truthful to yourself. Commerce of Okrika and fake goods. Our chief creative say, good evening. Who's the owner of NNPC? Nobody is asked. asking. Emeka Patrick says nobody can fix. Peter Anthony says, hi, Choma, wish you many more years. Thank you so much. Uzoma Tobechukwu of 4 year says, you're all doing your best. It's good. Benedict Anyagboso is asking, Niger man, you go rant, tire. Abego. All right, moving on over to WhatsApp. Good evening, Sister Choma, Mr. Peter Noske. Wike should reincarnate 10 times. He can't equal Atiku's records. Talk less of Mr. Peter be a man of integrity, a man after God's heart, who has the ability to change his country from what's the best country in Africa. I concur with Obasanjo. Secondly, I'm appealing to Mr. President. If he doesn't have what it takes to change the native, I believe this is meant to read narrative, let him resign. Without patience, Jonathan, who knows Mr. Wike. Thirdly, World Bank and IMF is the problem we have in this country. They knew quite well that our government only borrow and share, and they still borrow them because of the interest that they pay. Let them release Nnamdi Kanu, Prince, Ayotek. What the marketer said is a clarification of what I have been saying since early this year, that Nigerians should be ready to buy fuel for as high as 2,000 naira per litre. Very unfortunate how fuel price moved from less than 200 to as high as 1,200, and Nigerians are adjusting, suffering and smiling. Katsina carried Odo in education. The state of a former President Buhari becoming 36 out of 36 states, plus FCT, who is Minister of Education, Adamu, said he knew nothing about the ministry he was appointed to. How unfortunate. An educationally backward state produced an educationally deficient president who employed an educationally malnourished Minister of Education. What a pity. People always pray to God that everything and anybody causing problems in their life should die. Only God knows the prayer point of Atiku and Peter Obi. Okay, that's quite a funny one. Good evening, Choma, Mr. Anoske. Please, what I have to say is Nigerians should wake up before it's too late. There is something going on that APC is not telling Nigerians. No reform is going on. It is very clear. Victor, you didn't let us know where you're writing from. Eugene Mary from Isheri says, Peter Obi has said it all. Tinubu and his clique. Today's rulers only act as merchandise against Nigerians. So who can tell me the source of Tinubu's wealth and what was his business from time till now? But he's richer than Nigeria today, yet he's still not satisfied. Let's be honest, how many more years does he have? A greedy person can never be satisfied. A day of reckoning is coming. Okay, thank you for your message. Good evening, VOP. Your guest says, unless Igbo man rules Nigeria, Nigerians cannot move forward. The 5 states of Igbo since 1999 to date has been ruled by Igbo men. The question is how developed are those states? Emmanuel, you didn't tell me where you're writing from. Thank you so much for your message. Good evening, VOP. Good evening, the moderator. My sweet regards to the rare gem in the studio, Mr. Anoske. May God continue to protect and provide for you. In my view, no one in this present political course can best revive Nigeria from the quagmire it is now other than Igbo, such as Peter Obi. Any rational thinking person would agree with me on this claim. However, one obvious thing the Igbos should note is not Nigerians that do not want an Igbo indigene to govern Nigeria, but some unpatriotic, high-powered Nigerian political leaders. In the last presidential election, Nigerians truly proved their love for the Igbos by voting massively for Peter Obi all over the country. Egege from Agege. Good evening, Chairman, Mr. Anoske. Please, on Wike's statement on Alhaji Atiku and Mr. Peter Obi, don't take Wike serious because of his antecedent, where he had many uncomplimentary statements, even against this Tinubu during Tinubu's campaign tour in Port Harcourt. Wike, it is very glaring to everyone that leaves an old high percentage alcoholic drinks plus others. He's a frustrated politician who is embittered. Mayor writing all the way from Festac. Thank you for your message, Mayor. Good evening, VOP. Tinubu is really the problem. He's the head of every institution. The first day he assumed office, he says subsidy is gone. And since then, Nigerians has been going through a lot. Adaku from Igondo. Choma Innocent, good afternoon. I'm sorry for those who were believing that APC government will change anything to better in Nigeria, because they failed to ask themselves simple questions like how can Tinubu government return dollar to 1 naira? How can Tinubu government sanitize the oil industry without corruption? How can Tinubu government sanitize the electoral body? Please, without all and more, Nigeria will get worse than the way it is. Chinemere from Agbara said, Mr. Anoske, you've said it the way it is by letting those thinking that punishing Igbo people for not becoming president. They're not punishing even one single Igbo man, because it is Igbo man that can lead Nigeria without tribalism, religious bigotry, and without intimidation of anyone, because Igbo people will continue to do well in their businesses as usual. Chinemere from Agbara, running a business and running a country are two very different things. Good evening, Mr. Anoske and the Chairman. The federal government, APC-led government, exploitively takes advantage of the citizenry, presuming Nigerians as money-spinning customers. The government often compares prices of goods and services offered to the masses, of which they are beneficiaries, with foreign countries, just the same way business people convince their customers by telling them that their goods and services are the best in the state. IMF and FG should predict the implications of revamping the economy by reversal or elimination of the new policies since the assumption of this administration. Let's reapply the former policies during the PDP administration or the last wobbly APC-led administration by Buhari for 6 months. want. If discovered to be unfavorable, then we'll gladly switch to these inimical policies of Tinubu until his first tenure is complete. Chisco from Ijegun Ijagemo Grading Road. Finally, your road is being graded. Thank God, though. Chama, good afternoon. My name is Lena Chibuzo from Sule Lawansin. Anytime Igbo man become a president in this country, a big good history in Nigeria. Good evening, Sister Chama, Mr. Anoske. I'm only asking God to give me the kind of wisdom He blessed Mr. Anoske with. Thanks. Godson from Sulere. Kudos to Mr. Anoske, a historian, a seasoned analyst, well articulated. No comment from here. Chika Bende from Trade Fair in Lagos. Okay. Baruwa Sahid, I need to find your message. Good evening, Chairman and the guest. Baruwa Sahid. Obviously, this government is here to do business. I totally agree with the SDP presidential candidate. Your president has said that he spent huge amounts of money to get to the seat, so he cares less about Nigerians. As for the senseless statement being credited to IMF, it's an hypocritical statement for them. After directing your president to follow these evil policies, and somebody is now talking about malnutrition, are they not part of the cause? Your guest, just like Darlington, should stop being boastful. He might be right saying that North can be compared to Igbos. He should not do that to the Southwest. Southwest and Yoruba are far ahead of his people. If he argues that, he should return to his region that is inhabitable for them. Can he live in his state? Igbos should stay in their region. As for the 1960s coup, it is an Igbo coup. Your guest should stop twisting history. Out of his 7 major executors, 6 were Igbos. Out of 22 casualties, 21 were non-Igbos. The Igbo man killed was Colonel Unegbe, and it was caused to refuse to release the key to the armory. Anosike should stop being an ethnic bigot. Chief Anosike, good evening, sir. Mr. Anosike and Chiama, saying that this present government is using Nigeria to do business is nothing but the truth. Chief Anosike, I like you as a person. Whenever I hear your voice, I will be happy because you speak the truth always. Ifeanyi Chukwu, thank you for your message. Chiama, greetings to you and your guest, Mr. Anosike. Happy birthday to Ikami Jute. IMF and World Bank have become inconsistent in their advice to Nigerian government. Though that is what they want. About Wike, he lives in the euphoria of his downfall. That is certain. Daniel from Ushodi. Mr. Anoske's claims are disputed. Could he provide evidence or data to support his statement? Abidin from Bagada. Nigeria's major challenge lies in the lack of sincerity across various sectors, including 1. Politicians prioritizing personal interest over national progress. 2. Judiciary, compromised integrity and inconsistent ruling. 3. Public affairs commentators, biased analysis and hidden agendas. 4. Ordinary Nigerians, apathy and short-time thinking. It's high time we come together and fight our common enemies. Abidin from Bagada, thank you so much for your message. This is Michael from Sulere. Good evening, Chairman. Mr. Anosike, I greet you. 1. What Nigerians are getting is good for them. Truth be told, if a king behaves like a beggar, he should be treated like a beggar. IMF and World Bank aren't going to stop whatever they are doing because they give funds to leaders of our country, and the people's citizens decide to keep mute, knowing well that the funds will be divided and shared into the pocket of the leaders, and then the people hope that divine intervention would occur and stop them from doing so. I laugh at our foolishness. 2. SDP presidential speeches is good. Every presidential candidate that we had should stand up and speak. 3. Wike's speeches is a very dangerous speech, and it is dangerous only in its home. It has nothing and no effect to the country. Lastly, the people of Nigeria have been washed and need to be rebirthed from the hypnosis they face. Thanks, Michael from Soler. Michael, thank you so much for your message. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. A voice of the people, 90.3 FM. If we don't hear from you, wait till weekend. Good evening, it's Adeyemi Kamaru from Banana Island, Lagos. Adeyemi Kamaru, you've moved. Nice. Some people have been brainwashed with this narrative that they are smart and most intelligent ethnic group in Nigeria. They all have solutions to the Nigerian economy problem and can't find a solution on how to restore peace and tranquility in their region. Traditional wedding and burial now take place in Lagos and Abuja, yet it doesn't bother them. They can't find solutions to the problem in their region, but they have all the solutions to the Nigerian economy and insecurity in the north. Good evening, Chairman Innocent with Peter Anosike. It's only Nigeria is the Nigerian government are not thinking about innovation. For God's sake, these digital generations, Elon Musk is currently working on a new version of robots that can carry your baby for 9 months while you go about your work. Elon Musk is working on electric vehicles and also working on electric airplane, whereby Nigerian government giving Nigerian story up and down. Imagine. Hakimi, peace ambassador from Songwater, Ogun State. Hakimi, you say you're a peace ambassador, but you came with some violence. Good evening, Chairman, Mr. Peter. My name is Angel. Chairman, I just want to wish you happy birthday. Oh, Angel, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Dio from Fagba. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Anoske, my journalist of the year. And Chairman, read my message in full, please. As for cabinet reshuffle is more or less loyalty, cash and carry. Everybody get agenda with their mercenary enterprise. Same political loyalists and hallelujah boys, wasteful enterprise. Can you put your water in the basket and the water to fill it? If the head is not good, every part of the body cannot be good. They say, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Look at all that surround your president. You have corrupt people that have criminal cases in court. Corrupt individuals, you expect development. As for those supporting this government, let them continue to support lies, eye service, hypocrisy. The evil that men does leaves after them. It's a shame that the worst of us is within the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Dio from Fagba. I just know your handwriting. Ambassador TV on YouTube is saying, good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Ambassador. Obina MS says, keep the good work. I love your analysis. Obi Ago, Nigeria should work on production. Okay. Thank you for your message, Obina Eme. Unfortunately, as much as we want to continue with the conversation, it's time for us to pack our bags and leave. Before we do that, Mr. Peter Anoski, I'd like to get your concluding thoughts on everything we've discussed. Please, let's talk about the things we discussed, not about people's comments on the things we discussed. Okay?
For the issue of IMF and World Bank, it is instrument to underdevelop Africa. So World Bank and IMF is not good for Africa, and it is high time we begin to develop Nigeria with what we have, and not borrowing to share. They say who goes are borrowing, goes are sorrowing. So we should start developing, making do with what we have. Then on the issue of what's the next topic?
After the IMF
okay,
issue,
the
SDP,
SDP, I agree 100% with him that Tinubu sees Nigeria as customers and not as citizens. So all he's doing is to take rake as much profit as possible from us. That's why he's increasing everything, taxing everything.
Petroleum.
Well, petroleum in every country in the world, they are subsidy. So Nigerians cannot afford to buy a liter of petrol at 1,000 naira. So government must do something about it.
What about what Wike is saying, that he will continue?
Wike is a drunk. Wike is a drunk and must not be taken serious.
You don't have to use
and his failure will be worse than Amechi and others, and it's going to be very soon.
All right. Finally, on what our former President Obasanjo said.
We have tested the Yorubas, we have tested the Hausas, we need to test the Igbos.
All right then, and that brings us to the end of today's edition of the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who joined us on the program today. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, a voice of the people. If we don't hear from you, then our job is not complete. I also want to take time out to thank every single person who wished me a happy birthday yesterday and today, to everyone who supported me. I know a lot of you have heard about the burglary attack that occurred at my family residence, and I want to thank every single person that has seen me through that and supported me through that. Thank you so much, Senator, all the way from Italy. Yes, Senator, you sent me messages on Instagram. Thank you so much for your message. After every program, you always try to check in on me, and even with this, I really appreciate you as well. I really appreciate everyone who has been doing the best, everyone who wished me a happy birthday yesterday and even today. And I want to say you are the real MVP, okay? If you do have Kami Jude's Instagram handle, please send him a message as well. Yes, sir. Ojukwu, you're a VOP listener from Italy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I think Mr. MF or Mr. Emeju, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't even begin to explain the support so far, but I thank you. You make me feel so loved, and you make me understand that I'm not alone. The recap will make a return, same time, same station, and next week, Saturday. The World News at 6 comes up shortly. Remember to do the best that you can in your own little corner of the world to make Nigeria better. Have an amazing weekend.